The environmental impacts of war never go away. In our own countries, pretty well every country in Europe still finds unexploded ordnance from the Second World War, which causes local huge havoc. And the destruction of many natural places in the Pacific from nuclear testing in the 1940s and 1950s, the destruction of parts of Western USA from nuclear testing, and indeed parts of Central Asia and parts of Russia from nuclear testing have not gone away. The people of Vietnam still have to contend with the effects of Agent Orange many, many decades after that dreadful war had come to a conclusion. More recently, the use of depleted uranium in the Gulf War in 1990 and 1991 has left parts of southern Iraq still contaminated by the poison that has left behind. And as colleagues have pointed out, the awful current war that's going on in Ukraine has caused enormous environmental damage and continues to do so. And the bombing of industrial establishments leads to poisoning of water and resources that go with it, as well as damaging the air and the natural world. And also in Crimea, there has been, as the report points out, excessive drilling for new water wells, which has led to salination of the water supply. So the fundamental damage from conflict goes on for a very long time, and it often isn't appropriate at that time. There are, as the report points out, considerable numbers of conventions that could help with dealing with these issues, but the issues that come up are, one, that we need to recognise this is an issue, and I'm pleased that this report does that. Secondly, that after a conflict has concluded, there must be compensation paid and available for clearing up not just the damage, but also the damage to the natural world and the environment, and new laws are required, as John Howell has pointed out in his report. And that is to recognise that ecocide must become a fundamental in international law. It does require more work on its definition, but it has to be done. Ultimately, it is about the legal empowerment of the natural world and the environment, as COP25 and COP26 pointed out. And by us recognising the environmental effects of conflict, the long-term damage that's done, and the need to compensate for the damage to the natural world and the environment, I think is a very important step for this body to take.